Okay,
Warming up. Microphone seems to be working. We just don't know if it's picking up the fan.
probably is like okay. Say nothing. Wow, maybe
Mm,
not. Maybe
yeah, maybe not.
not. Okay, okay, okay.
If you are watching this in the future, this is a recorded live stream. The show has not yet started and will start in a few minutes. Feel free to watch us as we manually share our links and try to babble, or move forward to the start of the show.
So, so we're going through other Japanese shows on Netflix that are about food.
Mhm.
We have already watched Samurai Gourmet a long time ago, along with Midnight Diner and Midnight Diner Tokyo Stories.
YouTube channel is running.
So now we're on Izakaya Botkokari, I forgot. But it's the rip-off restaurant,
Mhm.
I think is the translation.
Which is the name of the restaurant.
Yeah, it's literally the name. It's just funny because they never directly translate it in the show. At least for from an English subtitle perspective. It's always like they'll say whatever the second word directly, but then I keep getting the context clue of it means rip off because they'll always say then it's really ripping you off, you know.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Trying to remember where we've seen the actress.
Have we, or do they just look the same? Today's a Tuesday, so we're talking about food. So I hope you're not hungry if you're gonna watch this episode. We are mildly immune because we always have just had dinner before we record the show. Um, but it is not uncommon for people to decide that they want to find particular snackies. I notice now, in YouTube, hindi it doesn't generate a thumbnail by default.
Yeah,
It gives me the channel image for now,
I guess
which
it kind of realized people will replace it anyway.
maybe. And we haven't done a replacement for yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, we will begin shortly, so hang in there, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury. Oh, I see Kenny's here on YouTube. Hey, Kenny. Mitch is on Facebook. Hello. Kenny is eating dinner, so he is also safe from the potential side effects of today's episode. Yes, Mitch, we are wearing the Tintin shirts. Thank you for noticing. What are you looking for?
This isn't it.
No.
I'm trying to find the name.
Here. Izakaya Botakuri.
Mm.
Yeah, Japanese, it translates to ripoff. So what's izakaya? It just says izakaya ripoff. I know where izakaya is location. Anyway, it's a decent show, but it's not like it's not um as thoughtful as Midnight Diner, and so far no like big story arc all feels like what did you eat yesterday. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think our new like comfort watching over dinner is we're looking for slice of life chill Japanese shows. And I'm sure there are Korean ones too. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Pub is izakaya. Oh, thanks, Mitch. Oh, okay, okay. So rip off pub. Mitch, are there any Korean shows that are like super chill that are on Netflix that you would recommend? Just wondering. It can be about food. There was this other one we watched before about that girl who just kept eating, right? There was this earlier one that was a Korean thing, and then
Don't
she,
remember.
I can't remember the title. Um, but she kept eating aggressively, or was it also Japanese? I can't remember. Boop, boop, boop.
Okay, I guess we can start.
Sure, we'll just roll credits and join you all in a bit.
Oh yeah! Really great!
This is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy Pride, a little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
It's completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us as we talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again. It's another Tuesday, so we talk about food, and many viewers get angry that they get hungry.
It's not our fault. You just keep throwing in food topics into the suggestion queue that we've actually made a whole day to try to tackle them.
So, this is a suggested topic.
Yes, by Kenny, who asked us to talk about Tusok Tusok and Inihaw. So how do we Inihaw is easier to translate. It's a grilling preparation. But how would you describe Tusok Tusok in
We're
English?
doing definitions. So tusok tusok is what's the word, onomatopoeia? Is that what it is?
Onomatopoeia means it sounds like the word.
So it's not. So it's
Yeah.
so what is it? There's a term for that, but it's basically,
A gerund,
I guess,
a verb used as a noun.
but it's similar to, because tusok tusok is a variation of turo turo,
Yes.
and it basically is street food wherein there's a lot that is offered and you choose what you want. Um, Normally in turo turo, these are rice meals, soup,
Yeah.
viands, vegetables. But in tusok tusok, it becomes specific to things that are quickly deep fried or stabbed with a skewer.
Yeah, I think like the funnest experience is when literally it is a walk with cooking oil. I mean on a like a fishball
Mhm.
vendor's cart, and it's literally you choose which of the floating balls you will
Mhm.
cook. I mean depending on it. Growing up there were a lot more fishball people like that. Later on, especially with like the pop-ups that would show up, well, not pop-up but the stalls in malls and food courts,
Mm.
then it could be like I'll get an order of chicken balls and the
Yes.
guy will cook it and just prepare it. So
Yes.
so the fun of skewering it yourself is a little lost at times, but it's the same principle.
Mhm.
Okay. So I guess we'll start with the tusok. And I'm frustrated because I can't think of a good translation for it. But in to some degree, all of our street food today, all of our discussion topics are street food related, and then it's sort of open air cooked.
So the Philippines is infamous for tusok tusok food because with the use of a barbecue stick or skewer, you don't need plates. You don't need
Yes.
other things to hold it. You stab it, and then with that you eat it. And then
Yes.
when you're done, you dispose of it. And and we go the full mile in the sense of then you'd have all these jars with different concoctions and syrups and
Typically, they
dips.
used to be coffee jars. They used to be instant coffee
Because then you
containers.
can stab it and then you can dip it, and whoever else has dipped there or double dipped, that's the world of street
You're
food.
not supposed to double dip, but then you always have this feeling that someone else did. This is why I did not eat a lot of street food on the street growing
So
up.
among the more popular tusok tusok options in the Philippines, we must at least start with isaw.
Yeah, and isaw is in a special niche because it's closer to quote unquote what we would say barbecue or Filipino barbecue because they have to prepare it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you skewer yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll prepare it, and then you'll see like it's set out on like banana leaves or something, and then you'll order. You can maybe pick the particular ones you want, and then the guy will grill it and grill it, including basting with whatever
Yes.
sauce that is, depending on how they cook it.
Yes. So it ranges from either chicken or pork intestines. Either way, they're very carefully cleaned, and
At least that's what we like to believe.
they're cooked to a nice golden color. Some people enjoy it with chili onion vinegar sauce. Others prefer to eat it plain. But otherwise, I think part of the fun is as you're eating it, it starts untangling. So it's like,
I think this is part of your fun. I don't know how many people are like, "Ooh, it's like an intestine noodle."
it's like a slinky, it's like starting to stretch as you're.
And to be fair about the mention of like eating it plain, it is actually quite. I mean, typically because there is a basting sauce while it's grilled.
Mm,
It is quite flavorful on its
yes.
own, and
Yes.
um, yeah, I've never had. I'll admit I've never had bad isaw. Like it's
Mhm.
always good. It's always good.
Yeah, isaw has that deadly yumminess to it because it's close enough to pork rinds in the sense that it like has that fatty yummy moment, but then it's also not, so it's still a different flavor profile.
It's kind of nice, savory,
Mhm.
barbecuey. I don't know. Okay.
So we follow it with the next Filipino treat, which is called quack quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
Quack quack are quail eggs that have been coated in batter and then deep fried.
For some reason, the batter must be bright orange.
Mm-hmm.
Does this article mention why? No.
No. And again, the name quack quack is because of the sound the bird makes.
So that's onomatopoeic.
Yes.
Okay. And then some argue that quack quack. Always an argument over which is quack quack and which is tukneneng because
Mm.
quack quack is quail eggs
Yes.
and then battered, but there's also regular chicken eggs
Yes.
battered and fried in the same way. And then I'm always going to be like, I grew up as kwek kwek is the quail egg, and then tokneneng is the
Yes.
other one. But then some have it the other way around, and I don't know. Maybe it's a regional difference thing. Okay.
This then moves to proben, as they call it, which is chicken parts that are coated with cornstarch and
I've
deep
not
fried.
encountered this term.
So it's the stomach of a chicken coated in fried cornstarch.
So it
The
looks like
chicken,
chicharron.
the chicken proventriculus, hence the name proben.
Proben. Wow, it's
Yes.
like we have random words that are based on very big
Mhm.
words, or it's like how media is very used to saying things like modus.
A lot of these are very common around schools and universities, although there have been attempts to have laws against such stalls.
Or to organize them
Yeah.
to adhere to certain safety standards. I mean, like just look at UP and how the fishbowl vendors got better organized, get a vest, get an ID, things like
Mhm.
that,
So Kenny shares that isaw isaw is a good introduction to inihaw
and innards.
for innards.
Okay,
And if you're from that one university, it's called egg waffles.
I don't know what we're talking about. All right, so
Moving forward, lumpiang Shanghai is listed
Yay.
here. Because yes, there are some places where you have lumpiang Shanghai and then they stab it with sticks as you eat it.
and there's like the roving lumpia people. Like in my college days, I would try to catch the fresh. Not it's not the Shanghai one, but it's the fresh
Mhm.
lumpia, but it's still deep fried. So it's the veggie one that's deep fried,
Mhm.
and then served in a plastic bag with a little vinegar.
Yes.
It's like you're directly in the vinegar, and it's so good. That was one of my favorite things. Okay.
Of course, lumpia for Filipinos come in different varieties from lumpiang hubad, lumpiang sariwa, lumpiang gulay, lumpia ubad, But we are focusing on the Tusok Tusok stuff, so we shall move forward to Ginabot or pork intestine cracklings. So this one, it's a Cebuana term.
I'm
For
not sure. Like,
everyone
I've never heard
else,
of this.
it's chicharon bulaklak.
Chicharan bulaklak. Okay.
You basically have the intestines, but then since it then coils together when it's fried, it has this flowery like
It
shape.
looks like a bouquet of cholesterol.
It is super good. It is like our favorite
Well,
snack
okay,
thing for when we're having our drinks.
but it depends because I prefer it freshly cooked
Yes.
and it's still warm and it's still kind of pliable, soft. Because of course, anything you like deep fry and expose to air,
Yes.
it gets drier and a little coarser. Although that is easily balanced out by dipping it in vinegar.
Yes.
But I still prefer it warm. And that super works for me. Okay.
We can skip that one because
Okay.
this is all just street food.
Okay, so this one on the oh, it's the same list. Wait,
So,
I had the
so
other
then
one.
we have banana Q. So this is fried bananas coated with brown sugar.
Okay, that is skewered. I will admit it's not something you skewer yourself, but it is skewered.
I was not a fan of banana Q.
How come?
I didn't like it.
Did you prefer toron?
No.
It's so weird. Normally, you like most banana things.
I know, but I didn't like banana Q. Maybe because it used those really um they use those bigger plantains, right? Not just the normal.
It's saba. Yeah.
And they tend to be very starchy.
Yes.
So
They're
I-
like thicker.
Yeah, so I wasn't a fan.
I don't. Growing up, I would be frustrated with banana Q that the sugar is not evenly coated.
Mm.
Because you'll have like it's like mostly kind of softer syrupy banana with a few like clusters of sugar.
Mm-mm.
And of course, as a kid, you want the sugar. And Kenny asked about cassava Q. Oh, I didn't mind cassava Q, and I also like kamote. All these things that are deep fried in sugar, and like I used to go for that.
So Kenny also mentions cheese sticks, which are quite common in many universities.
But that's easier to prep, yeah. And then again, just quickly deep fry. Okay.
Then we go to the range of different other deep fried
We're on the same
tusok
article.
stuff.
Okay.
So we have fish balls, which is basically a lot of grounded up fish meat mixed with fillers,
Carbs.
fillers.
Fillers are carbs.
And these would come in different shapes, typically circle, but there would be some that would be more creative. Others would just stick to circles, and then you'd have the bigger circles, which are squid balls, the smaller flat ones as fish balls.
It's funny
And-
that we keep calling them fish balls, and it's very rare that they retain a ball shape for very long.
Because they only really get a ball shape if you cook it right.
Yeah, and then
'Cause
they,
that's when
they
it
puff up in the
inflates,
oil, and then but then quickly it'll deflate after.
And many actually have it partially cooked. So it's still flat and stuff, but cooked enough that you can eat it. But then it becomes doughy, chewy rather than crispy.
Well, I think it's also a question of was this when there are a bunch of you standing around the fishball stand and then you're all watching the balls cook and how to politely like
Mhm.
be the first one to stab it before someone else gets it because there's no like you can't reserve a ball.
Yeah.
It's free for all.
So Mitch shares that in Thailand, fishball is different. It's like kikiam. Yes,
Oh,
they do
so
have
denser.
that different
Okay, okay.
shape. I like that experience.
Your
of
favorite ball?
staring at the thing and then choosing which one you'll attack, and then there'll be that coiled wire.
Yes, the coil on
that
the
you
side.
use to push the ball further in the stick,
your
so you
stick.
can properly
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
get
yeah. I was
more.
gonna mention that.
And then
too.
usually when you buy, you pay a large sum, so like 3 pesos, and that's like 8 sticks, eight balls. or
It
something.
probably is no longer.
Yeah, yeah.
8 balls.
Now it's no longer. But diba, it was something like that.
I love this quote of big amount, 3 pesos.
It wasn't like you're like, how many balls would you buy? It's like how much are you spending? And then
Yeah,
that has an
that's
equivalent
true.
number.
That's true. Because you'll be like 10 pesos, and then
Now-
wow, you're feasting.
Now crazily, it's like 30 pesos for like a stick with 6 balls. What the hell? But yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So, okay. So yeah. So what of the street food variety, like out there, what was your favorite ball? Which your choices are typically chicken, squid, and fish.
I was a squid ball person
Squid ball. How come?
because they were more for the money. They were a bit more expensive,
Ah.
but I felt they were more filling.
Mitch says kikiam. Kikiam is fun too, and like, but kikiam was always like because it could be a bigger piece, and then it gets like fried separately, and then
Mm.
like I'm used to, especially go if you, there were certain stands. Oh my god, it was Kiss King of Balls. Oh my which they would cut up the kikiam with scissors
Mhm.
and then you could slather it with the sauces you wanted on the little like thing, and then I would get it with sagot gulaman,
Mhm.
and that was like my merienda.
So Kenny shares the lowest price he experienced was 50 cents for the flat fish balls.
It got
No,
low. It was lower. It was lower.
it was
It was
lower.
20, at least 25 cents.
25 cents each.
Because you could do 1 peso sticks,
Yes.
and that's
And
5 pesos. You're super
and
splurging.
I'd like to pay 10 pesos. I'll have 10 steaks. And I'd be like,
But it's not fun to hoard it. Like I'll wait for a second batch in
no,
between
it's
because I
fun to
want that.
hoard it. And then you show everyone you can afford it. Anyway, moving on. Helmet. So, yes, in the Philippines, we do make the most of the food we eat. And helmet is proof of that, where you have well grilled chicken heads. So the head itself is actually grilled to a yummy, 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 yummy place.
Okay, I have never had this. I sometimes think about it. I think you skipped over some. You can scroll up a bit. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
those two.
So we have chicken gizzard, which is
Balon
balun
balunan.
balunan. It's a chewier, more rubbier texture than isaw, slightly resembling a squid.
I learned to appreciate gizzard more in that weird adobo like preparation when it
Mhm.
when it has the chicken heart pie and stuff. I like that. I do like that. I don't know how I think I thank UP cafeterias for like
Mhm.
introducing me to that. That's when I finally started to eat it.
Then you have Betamax. Yes, it's named after the old way we used to watch movies. Um, they're basically black cubes made out of grilled coagulated pork or chicken blood.
Man, the term now is so archaic.
I know.
It's like why the save icon is a diskette,
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how people get it. But Betamax is it's essentially blood pudding,
Mm.
black pudding if you're in the UK. But yeah, it's grilled blood. Okay.
Then we have Adidas, wherein it's grilled chicken feet, which sounds strange for people who have not really enjoyed Chinese cuisine. Because
Mm.
in Chinese cuisine, you do have a lot
There
of
is a
chicken feet
chicken feet. Yeah, there are
recipes.
chicken feet preparations as part of a dim sum arrangement.
Mhm.
And it's things like the chicken feet and the kikiam, which just really tells you like the diverse influences we've had
Mhm.
as a people in terms of our food. Okay.
So, kamote Q, banana Q were mentioned. Yeah, that's pretty much when it comes to the stick stuff.
Okay.
So, in the Philippines, we've of course did not limit ourselves to that. We now have grilled hot dogs. Um, you have grilled sausages. You have, um, you know, people even grilling fruit sometimes.
Yes.
And I, I personally am very happy whenever there's opportunities to enjoy these types of food.
Not shepherds like not grilled things, but things you may see hanging off the sides of your fishball cart
Mm.
are manga.
Hmm. Oh yeah, actually we have to include that. So there's green mangoes, normally served on a stick,
Yeah.
either with rock salt
Or
or
with
with
bagoong.
fish shrimp paste.
Shrimp paste bagoong.
Which I love those. I miss those actually.
Or I love like or it's either skewered also
Mm-hmm.
or it's in a bag with the weird like they cut it so it has fingers because
Mm-hmm.
it's wedges that you can break off.
And then if not green mango, you can have what we call singkamas, which the rest of the world
Jicama.
knows.
I was prepared.
I always thought it was a turnip.
I think it is technically. I don't know, but look up jicama. Jicama.
Oh, yeah, it does listed.
No, but you have to I guess look for a wiki if it's like jicama.
It's similar to our
Similar to a turnip but not a turnip.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And then I'm just double checking other Tusok Tusok articles I had preloaded, but I think we covered everything. So I am amused if we talk about inihaw specifically, guys. There is a Wikipedia page
Mhm.
for inihaw, which is separate from grilled because I don't know Pinoy pride. Someone decided to make an article.
And I know I'm happy that they did that because we do have a lot of stuff which is worth looking at.
Yeah. So they say inihaw, also known as sinugba or inasal, are various types of grilled or spit roasted barbecue dishes from the
Mm-mm.
Philippines. They're usually made from pork or chicken and served on bamboo skewers or in small cubes with a soy sauce and vinegar based dip.
And this goes as far as a whole fish, fish with filling, a whole squid, squid with filling, portions of a chicken, um, sliced up pork.
Yeah, and then it's led to various waves of restaurants
Mhm.
that try to capture this cuisine. I mean, like when you think about, it was like the late to mid '90s that there was the rise of chicken bacolod and other chicken inasal
Mm-mm.
type places, and it was always hard to tell them apart. And this was well before the unlimited rice, gimmick. It was
Mm-mm.
really just you'll get your inihaw na chicken, and it's when you had to get used to that breast is pecho, and
Mm-mm.
then and all
Yeah,
these
those
things.
terms.
Yeah,
And then Walkman is big ears.
I have
Yeah.
not encountered this.
You have Betamax, you have Adidas, you have Helmet, and Walkman.
Okay. On the ihaw side, so I guess we can talk about like barbecuing in general. Is that um so I mean when we go out, I'm always we're always like on the prowl for like good inihaw na
Mm-hmm.
pusit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not easy to grill a squid
Yes.
because of the fact of it's like fairly short cooking time, but also very quick rubber time if you
Mm-mm.
don't if you don't handle it well. And we've
Yes.
had some very tough uh, inihaw na pusit, but what can you do? Mitch is like best barbecue in town, or I guess in this case, best inihaw. I don't know really. Like I don't think I'm enough of a connoisseur to say definitively like, ooh, this inihaw option is the best.
Mm-mm.
You know what? I feel like the best inihaw is the one you make, like the one at the family gathering when someone, whether they have a nice grill or they're squatting over a bunch of coals
Mm-mm.
in a bowl. Um, was just there is something about home cooked barbecue preparations that I
Well, it's
super
because
favor.
it also brings out the different ways people do it.
Yes.
For some, they just use, for example, soy sauce with ketchup. Others, they focus on a mix of either muscovado or brown sugar mixed in with this and that in order to give it the sweeter golden hue.
Yeah, I know like our marinade was something like there was toyo, there was definitely garlic
Mm-hmm.
cloves that were crushed
Mm-hmm.
but still whole.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then I don't sometimes I feel like there was no magic seasoning.
Because MSG is yummy.
Yeah, so I don't have full but there were this whole elaborate marinade for the at least for the pork or the
Mm-hmm.
pork and or chicken. Typically they would like have the same marinade, not necessarily in the same container, which they would have to sit in for like a few hours. And then but then on the other side, the fish would always be like pure, like it'll be wrapped in foil and
Mm.
grilled that way, which is essentially steamed. And then sometimes there's veggies in it, sometimes there isn't. It really
Mm.
depends. So
Um, Kenny asks if there's a good recommendation for inihaw na pusit. I think the closest one I could bring up would be a place that probably no longer exists. It was called this place known as the Fifth.
oh, that's super gone.
Back in
Mm.
Cubao, when we used to live there, there was a small ihaw place at the foot of the building
Essentially a calendaria
that was
outside. Yeah.
really good.
Super good
They
food.
they
Super
they
good
were
food.
really they captured the beach feel of the way food is cooked, and it was such an amazing time to eat there. But it's long gone. Um, Kenny shares homemade inihaw, banana ketchup in the marinade, so good.
Yes.
Hmm.
I think that ketchup, depending on your preference, but ketchup plays a secret role in our
Because
marinades.
ketchup is sugar,
Yeah, it's a sugar
and people
delivery
don't realize
method.
that.
Okay.
Inihaw na bangus. Okay, when it comes to inihaw na bangus, although we're moving. Well, we're still inihaw. It's still
It's
part of it.
anyhow. Yeah.
I never liked the fish that had stuffing.
Oh, the no, the tomato onion thing.
Relenyong bangus, is that the term for it?
Oh, well, isn't Reliana the one when they take out the fish meat, crush it, and then put it back?
With vegetables and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Then it's more like an embutido, but
Yeah.
inside the fish.
So I never liked that.
Oh, how come? Because it's supposed to take the bones out of the equation for
Yeah,
you.
but someone pre-chewed it for me. So
Given your, dare I say, luck with tinik,
I know.
it's
I,
like,
I, I get I get fish bones even in fillets.
yeah,
Fillets
it is
and
only
fillets.
it's only in my life with Toby that we somehow find all the bones in the fillets,
Yes.
whether it's bangos or
Yes.
even
And
tilapia.
we've had, oh, this is a good piece. We haven't had any bones. No, there we go.
Yeah.
I find the bones.
So Kenny also doesn't like Orleano. Mitch says like Sawas Orleano, mom used to cook it almost every 2 weeks. It's a lot of work. I think I respect the work, but
I do
admittedly,
too.
it's not my favorite
I
preparation
do too,
also.
but I prefer the bangus plain.
What if
So it's like,
what if it's not pre-chewed but it just has veggies in it? Because the empty stomach cavity they tend to stuff it with
yeah, that
veggies.
one's fine.
That's fine.
So it's
Okay.
like they have chopped up, let's say, onions,
Tomato.
tomatoes, and then they cook it with the thing. So then you have the fish, but then you have the vegetables in its juices. That's fantastic. And bangus for me always goes well with calamansi and toyo.
Mm.
That is the sausawan. Anything else is unnecessary or too complicated.
And then tilapia is kind of fun on a grilled perspective, but it's always hard to like keep it
Mhm.
together. It's always like
And then
falling
I
apart.
think my guilty pleasures when it comes to inihaw would be the crispy crablets,
Okay,
where
which
you
is really prito.
yeah,
Uh-oh.
and those really tiny shrimp where you could eat the entire thing.
Mitch asked, "Do you prefer inihaw under the uling or grilled oven cook
I prefer uling, to be honest. There is a flavor that's different when you have it in charcoal.
over charcoal?"
Yeah, I don't know if it's more from the smell or something, but
Yeah.
there is a flavor
Okay,
difference.
but I will say that I feel slightly bad about. Remember, at any mercato type food bazaar,
Hmm.
then there's always going to be these grilled places. But of course, for expediency, it's like pre-cooked stuff that they're going to reheat
Yeah,
on an open
or
fire.
worse, they do use charcoal, but they use gasoline as
To
the
auto,
accelerant,
yeah, you
so
shouldn't. It leaves a flavor
it
when you use a
changes the
lighter
flavor.
fluid. So, ooh.
Hey, Jeanette. Jeanette shares, I don't know if this has already been discussed, but fresh squid stuffed with tomatoes, onions, and sweet mango slivers. That I will say is yummy.
I have not encountered the mango.
Yeah, we've had that in, I forgot which beach. It wasn't Boracay. No, it was Boracay. It was the fancier squid.
Oh, I don't remember.
Because we
Okay,
had the plain squid in,
Puerto Galera.
yes, Galera.
Okay.
But then we had the Maarte squid in Boracay.
We had super maarte food in
Yeah, we had
Boracay.
super
We
Maarte.
went for
We
this.
had that weird crawfish thing and that.
Yeah. No, the weird crawfish naman was in
No, it
Mindoro.
was there. Remember, it was the away from the beach. There was that restaurant place where we went to, and then they had all this e-house stuff, and we
Okay, yeah.
decided to try. I wanted to try that weird thing that looked like a trilobite, but that was like expensive. Remember, they were like selling it for like 900, I think.
Ay, nako, Toby's eating decisions are fueled by like, oh, it looks like blank or it's like you are blank. All these strange analogies and experiences. Okay. Um. Okay. So other things that are like listed on this
Okay,
anyhow thing.
barbecue.
Okay, barbecue as a
Are
whole.
you a barbecue? Eat just the barbecue, or do you need dipping sauce?
Oh, I feel like good barbecue doesn't need anything. I mean, like, sorry, and when for non people not familiar, we're talking specifically about Filipino pork barbecue,
Yes.
which is small cubes or on a skewer, but it's super basted with like it's pre-marinated, it's
Mm-mm.
basted,
Mm-mm.
and then grilled.
In the Philippines, barbecue is not normally just the general how it's cooked, but a
Yes.
specific dish. And to be even more specific, it's fatty parts first, then meaty parts.
Oh well, fatty on the bottom and then meat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when they cook it, then the fat kind of runs down onto the rest of the thing. So I'm a if stick only, no dipping sauce.
If stick only, what do
Yeah,
you mean?
but if you're eating it with rice,
Ah,
there must be toyo calamansi.
okay. I didn't really have as much toyo calamansi growing up. It's only like
Mm.
when I moved out and started living with other people who did not eat like me,
Mm.
that oh okay, toyo
Oh,
mansi is a
Mitch
thing.
shares toyo mansi chili for her barbecue. May sabaw sa kanan. Yes, same. The rice needs to have some moisture to work with the barbecue.
Jeanette says Reyes because there's Reyes barbecue and
Yeah.
then peanutty dipping barbecue sauce.
Mm. So this is similar to
Asate.
no. Aristocrat.
Ah, yeah,
Remember they have that
their special
they have
barbecue
their
sauce.
sauce which is peanut buttery, peanutty.
Okay. Although I will admit I've never been a big fan of Reyes barbecue. I feel like the price did not justify what you
But
get.
Aristocrat was pretty good.
Okay, Aristocrat is.
I
I'm just talking about
mean,
Reyes
yeah.
barbecue.
But thinking about in terms of really good barbecue, I think Aristocrat would rank high on that list.
Yeah, I mean
I
like they're
remember,
famous for their chicken
and
bar
I remember those times we kind of after Obar with Solomon and those
in
they'll
Malate.
tell us to go with them, and then we're like,
Mm,
oh, we're at Aristocrat. Oh my god, we're at Aristocrat. And then the food is just so yummy.
with the Java rice and the thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Tristan shares suka and ketchup as barbecue dipping
Oh,
sauce.
that's an interesting option.
I used to do that as well for the fattier ones.
The fatty bits.
Yeah. As in when they like serve like large clumps of taba, I go for suka and I like melting the
So
flavor.
Kenny says Heaven's barbecue, even though expensive, is pretty nice. I don't know. I'm like, and we live in Taguig, and like, I think Heaven's was just okay. I feel like the
What's
novel.
Heavens?
It's the 24-hour one at Fort Strip. It's. I feel like it's just novel because it's open all the time. So I don't know. And then Mitch asked the question: chicken barbecue or pork barbecue?
I'm more pork. Because for chicken, I'm still turbo. I'm like, I know I'm so predictable. But I like my turbo chicken. I like my pork barbecue.
I think it'll go back to the it depends for me before
And
because like
then,
if it's a party whatever then
mm,
pork barbecue is so much easier obviously
okay,
because then you just pick it up, but if I can sit down and eat properly then I wouldn't mind chicken.
I don't like chicken on a stick.
So
No,
so,
because
so strong this
you
statement.
can't just you have to himay the chicken.
Yeah, that's Toby's problem, himaying thing.
Diba? I mean, the barbecue and the steak, you eat the whole thing, and
That's
that's
why
it.
I want to sit down.
You can't eat that chicken on the steak. You have to like put it out of the steak and then use your fingers or knife and fork.
You've seen me attack a chicken with with a spoon and a fork.
Yes, but that's my point. See, it has to be with a spoon and a fork.
Hey, it's just a skill. It's
It can't be a barbecued on a skewer.
Okay. Kenny likes this achara with pork barbecue. Achara is such an interesting side. Because
I
again,
used to hate achara.
yeah, I wasn't sure like what the hell is going on here. And then like, oh then you appreciate it the tangy
Counter,
sourness
yeah,
is
the
a
counter
counter.
flavor.
Okay. Oh, like what Tristan says, the acid cuts the fat.
Mm.
Okay. Mitch, of all the inasal chains, she likes JT Manukan. Oh, I remember JT Manukan. I don't know what my favorite inasal would be because I grew up with chicken bacolod, like legit chicken bacolod. And then there's also chicken inasal, which is available for delivery in this area. So it was like, okay, but it tends to come a little dry. But then I feel like almost all the chicken inasal types like come out very dry because nga it's like pre-prepared and then
Yeah.
heated. So
And
it's
then
not as fun.
worse, many of them are very sweet.
Yes, which
So it's
is a
tricky.
problem for me.
Yeah.
So um
But then I'm happy yet shocked when you see like a steak and it's nothing but wet. Because I'm serious. It's like It makes me think of those stories about KFC now being KFC because it's no longer chicken. So you have a ball of quets that's like, and then you can cook it.
Kenny says there are bad acharas out there which really taste sweet, not sour. That is true. Or
I-
there's some na parang medyo mild, super mild.
I don't think those were still good to eat.
That's also because there are some na parang it dried out
Mm-mm.
and then it's like, okay, I'm just eating radish. I don't know, whatever. It's just weird. And then Mitch says Mang Inasal is too sweet. Okay.
So, what are other things that you think would be interesting to add to the Turo Turo selection?
The Tusok Tusok world.
Yeah. For example, do you think there will be a point in time where there's enough abundance in the sea and we have oyster Turo Turo? Or tahong Turo Turo?
I don't know. Only because, well, our challenge is that kawawa naman si street vendor to maintain seafood.
Malay mo, it has gotten easy enough na, you know, bagay, it's easier to sell it in the shells than to like take it out pa than to...
It's more work. It's so much work. Only a restaurant would serve it.
Unless there's like supermarkets where they sell it peeled tahongs na and it's all the linis na siya.
I wouldn't trust it. I mean, like, I get that feeling. Like, it's like when we see like the generic bag of like squid pieces, and then it's like, am I gonna get the frozen squid? Cause seafood. Kenny's like interesting marinated tofu.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That could be fun.
We've only seen a few barbecued tofu, usually in those mga meatless
Boji,
places. Yeah.
yes. Mitch says shawmai. Do you want to deep fry the shawmai? Is that what we're saying?
Well, if we're gonna go deep fried, the ano na yan, we have deep fried donuts, deep fried shawmai, deep fried French fries.
The French fries we just gave away.
You have French fries, you then roll it in batter, then you deep fry it.
Funnily, if anyone shopped at SM Supermarket at least for Aura over the weekend, for a minimum purchase value, you would get free pampanabam SM bonus French fries. And like, I still claimed it, but then in the end, though, we just like passed it to his mom.
Yeah, tempura style vegetables I think would be awesome, and I know there are some in Turo Turo places.
Some have like random vegetable things.
Yeah, but it's not that common. It's just not that popular. But we have to also give credit to the fact that street food coating is scarily yummy. Whatever they use for
there
the
must
coating,
be MSG. There must be in the batter.
the fillers they use, I can't help but feel it's probably like old bread. No, I mean, you know how bakeries, you have the Staler breads. You can you can grind that into a very good flour substitute.
Yeah.
And then if you use that for your for your batter, that's not just flour. That's flour that has salt and so it's gonna be a very
which
rich
is always
batter.
like essential. Like, and if anyone who's cooked like a proper like battered fried chicken, is that you cannot just put flour. It's like you must season the batter to really like enhance your chicken. So that's that.
Is there deep
equation.
fried butter?
I think we're back in America. I'm sure someone's tried to deep fry butter.
Yeah. So there's battered butter.
Why are there no dessert options for Ihaw and Tusok? Business idea.
That would be Toron.
I think at most it's like Toron Banana Q nearby.
And then the fruits.
And then or they're just going to try to drive the easier sale of the whatever drink they have. If it's sagot gulaman, tapandan, or things like that. It's like that's the equation. They'll drive the drink or the generic soft drinks in the cooler.
Your problem with desserts is either you want it cold, so then that means more investment on ice, and then you have a ticking time bomb on how long it will last.
Yeah.
And then if it's not cold naman, it's fresh, which that's why many fruits have ice.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, because the ecosystem of street food cart type arrangements is they're very specialized. Because you have the fishball guy, and then you'll have the scramble guy on the side trying to leech off for dessert. You'll have the banana Q person nearby, the random mane person walking through with like, hey, do you want to add some peanuts to this? and all these things. It's an interconnected thing, and I feel I most appreciated this, of course, in UP. Obviously, that there will be clusters of carts
Mm-mm.
with all these different things, and then you can just hop from cart to cart to like get what you want. So there is that option. It's this weird list of things you can grill. Tobias
Yeah,
trying
just
to
double checking if any of
examine.
them step out. Although I think it would be fun to have dessert turo-turos.
Mm.
As in, they're specifically like you have a guy who does shaved ice and he does everything from halo-halos to mais conielos to.
Mm.
I just feel it's not something the average
I guess
person can invest in.
and the need of refrigeration kind of makes it a hassle. Unlike
And the biggest is the utensils.
yeah, it's more prep. It's more prep.
Because like scramble works with your cup and plastic spoon. I'm
Yeah, and
sorry,
then
wooden spoon
and then everything
or plastic straw.
you just
Yeah.
squeeze on
But
it.
then when you start looking at other desserts, you start questioning how it's gonna work. Unless ice cream worked with cones and bread,
Mm.
but you notice there isn't really cupped stuff. Taho sticks to a very basic cup.
Yeah. It was funny in the Wikipedia list of Inihaw. So they list sort of what they say are the main things you're probably going to encounter. So of course there's lechon, which is a special thing on its own.
Mhm.
And more often than not, we all encounter lechon as a portion and not as a whole pig, because a whole pig means like ooh party,
Yeah.
and it's like, good on you if you're able to get that.
Mhm.
So chicken inasal, which is a version of lechon manok from Western Visayas, um, and then lechon manok, which is spit roasted chicken with a different marinade mix versus inasal, which is like okay, the rice of andoks and all these
Mhm.
other things. They have sati, which are usually grilled beef or chicken skewers. So SATTI, which is like satay, Malay
Mhm.
satay. Okay, and then isaw, of course, all the thing. There's your Walkman reference.
Mhm.
It's so funny how we've thought of euphemism for everything. Walkman for ears, Betamax for the blood, helmet for the head, Adidas for the feet.
What amazes me is it's a very 80s reference.
Yeah, it's like there's only a particular point in time that we renamed all these things.
So I can't wait till our cuisine for this new generation eventually has stuff wherein we're calling it, more modern stuff. Like we never had a dessert called a pager or a cake called a laser disc. Diba?
Ooh, I'd like a laser disc. It'd be some sort of mirror glaze thing.
Yeah, see? Diba? I mean, like we have boba right now.
But I think it also requires that because there are references that were common
Mm-mm.
to everyone, and like even things like pagers and
And they were
as an
references that
example
were common,
are
but then
still
they
like
were used
rarer.
to market because
Yes.
people then would be like, it would have that nice memory recall thing.
Mm-mm.
So like imagine if they start selling, I don't know, those those um, those mollusks we had in the beach, those woodworms,
Mm.
the talimok, and they call it TikTok or something, di ba? And you know, it could get catchy, di ba? You want to try some TikTok? And then
Kenny says he has no idea what makes scramble pink and what flavor it is. What is your opinion
it's
on
strawberry.
it? Is it really strawberry
It's
or is
strawberry.
it strawberry flavoring?
It's strawberry because
Strawberry like flavor.
Filipino cuisine was always strawberry versus chocolate.
That's true.
And
That's
then the
true.
only other flavor that will challenge the two is mango. And then the last is ube, but ube is for the mayaman.
Why is ube for the
That was the
mayaman?
dati. Kung may ube, may ice cream ka, mas mayaman, mas ano.
Really?
But
But
chocolate
it's
and
part
strawberry
of
is,
the dirty ice cream cart
yeah,
assortment.
it was because ube was you can only get ube in Baguio. That was
Before,
the
yeah.
mindset dati. Na if you're gonna have ube, you'll go out
But
of
why
town.
strawberry? It wasn't strawberry like also
Because there was a
limited to
lot of
Baguio.
fake strawberry. The flavoring.
Okay. I wonder though, like, so what's happened to all the food cart type people in this pandemic? I mean, like that's a sad thing to like. It's a big industry but it's definitely like very hand to mouth. I mean, in the sense that they don't earn a lot. The
Yeah.
margins are small.
I don't know if many of the Jolly Jeeps have shut down permanently.
Mm-mm.
Jolly Jeeps are those food kiosks that are by the roadside here in the
Typically in
Philippines.
Makati.
You normally don't even have tables for these places. So they're sort of like those food trucks where
Yeah.
people line up in front of it. Only these don't have wheels.
Mm-mm.
Um, I thought mango is expensive flavor, ube isn't. Well, maybe it's a regional thing, but at least that's what I grew up with. That when you'd had ube, it was like, ooh, special. And then mango was pretty normal. Because there are mango trees locally. So to have fresh mangoes was not as striking as to have ube.
Kenny says some Jolly Jeeps are in Grab Food or Food Panda.
Yeah,
That's
I've heard.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't really get to experience that a lot,
Mhm.
mainly because when my main working life in Makati, I work in a call center, so the Jolly Jeeps are closed because I was working at night. So
If you
it makes
could
it great.
invent a tusok tusok item, what would it be?
It's something fried, I assume.
Yeah.
I don't know. Um,
Like, do you want onion ring stick?
Parang hirap ng onion ring.
Kasi it's a deep fried onion na naka-spiral style. But then you eat it. Pwede yun. It's like the brick ng racks. Diba?
I don't know.
Or you could have a crispy noodle stick. So think a ramen block that you stick on a stick, then you deep fry it.
Oh my god! But won't it get soggy and
If you
lose
don't
its?
eat it quickly. And then you have a cup of sabaw, so you can like dip and eat it. I want that.
I see Toby has just answered his own question repeatedly. I'm here like maybe. Uh, I think what could go well, like to complement all the other ball things,
Mhm.
is some sort of like a stuffed potatoy thing. Like it'll have to be a pre-prepared like a fish ball,
Mhm.
but it's like French fry mash quality potato containing like cheese or
Yeah, that's
something.
nice. So it becomes creamy inside.
Yeah, yeah. Then you can deep fry
Kenny
that.
shares a deep fried the shelled shrimp. Mm. Ooh, you know what else by there?
What?
Banana Q split. So it's injected with ice cream and then you deep fry it. But then when you eat it, ice cream.
I think it's gonna be milk by that point.
No.
No. I think you're better off deep frying it and then doing a quick
A
injection.
custard injection. That would be interesting.
Parang croquette. Yeah, it's a croqueta, essentially. A
Mhm.
croquette. But then like small size. Like those
Oh,
potato balls at Tokyo.
those small pancakes.
And then what do we do with the small pancake? You want to deep fry it?
Yeah, and then it's like fishball, and then you have maple syrup.
Why is there maple syrup bigla?
I want. And then you can have small waffles, and then
Okay, so before like we go, I think we can make just tie things together on a personal note. So like, what were your encounters with street food like this?
well, Don Bosco Makati had lots of stalls, so definitely I camped and ate a lot there. Was never a fan of the egg stuff.
What do you mean?
The
The quack quack and stuff?
Yeah, because I always worried I didn't know where the eggs came from.
No,
It's stupid because I
because you
don't
don't know
know.
where everything came
Yeah,
from.
but parang since it was coated, I don't know what's really
It's
inside.
hiding.
Whereas the fish balls and stuff, you can see them in the bag, so I kind of felt safer about it. Um, and then kwek kwek was already cooked, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the fish balls and stuff, you cook it on the spot. So I
You,
felt it was cleaner.
although sometimes yung quack quack, you could ask them to heat it up.
Yeah, but since it was cooked on the spot, I felt it was cleaner because I was like burning the germs.
Yeah, I get that. Because most of my life, I we did not eat street food. It's like
Mhm.
also dirty ice cream could not eat. So
Mhm.
no matter how many carts would pass by, could not eat these things.
Mhm.
Was not allowed. So it was so risque that Like when my stepdad entered the picture, and then like let's go after mass. Then we go to mass at UP, at the UP church, and then go across the street to where all the vendors are in
Mhm.
the parking lot. And then it's like, oh my god, are we going to eat fish balls here? Because before that point, the only time I had fish balls was my grandma bought fish balls at the supermarket
Mm.
and fried it herself and had their own sauce. And like, oh, so this is what fish balls are like. Poor children.
Kenny shares, have you guys noticed Kwek Kwek these days are often pre-made? I think everything's pre-made now because it's production and faster and
Yeah, and it's a
because like
faster serving
because
time.
like even French fries aren't potatoes that are chopped and then turned into fries.
They're
Those are potato wedges now.
yeah, they're
Most French fries are pre-processed,
have been
mush,
cooked once and then you're actually just
yeah,
reheating in oil.
and already they were para molded into those shapes, already cooked and then reheated. So yeah, so a lot of it is production stuff, which
Just
is
to balance
why
things out.
which
Yeah.
is why a lot of boneless chicken stuff you don't know what shape they really are. They're not chicken where the bones were removed; they were molds.
They're mutants. Bleh.
Mm-mm.
Okay, okay. So yeah. Oh, random street food thing was like ohoy,
Mm.
which is
Okay.
it's like a little patty on its own. But
Mm-mm.
then it had the smaller shrimp
Yeah.
and like you just have to crunch through it. My grandmother, we went to Nepa Q Mart once, and I super remember that she bought us okoy, and then ooh, exciting! She bought something from a street stall. We didn't eat it until we got home because she deep fried it again,
Mm.
just to make it sure it was clean, and then we could eat it. And I thought, oh, this is awesome, and I kept asking for okoy, but it would have to go through this arduous process of we have to go and then buy it outside and bring it home.
So Ethan shares playing Monster Hunter Rise. Been curious what dango tastes like. I assume they're sweet, like our version would be carioca. That's true.
Dango, dango,
And
dango.
carioca is one of those. Um, never really knew what it was made of, but a lot of people are really into it. Those rice puff balls.
So dango is yet another of those rice. It is a Japanese dumpling made of rice flour mixed with uruchi rice flour and glutinous rice flour.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's gonna be thick and
And
chewy.
carioca would be similar to that.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Kenny was once okay about allergies. I'm so sorry, but it is true. That's always my risk of like when we eating at the fishball stand, and then Mina's like she wants to eat fish balls too. And everything gets fried in the same
Mm-mm.
oil, whether it's the
Mm-mm.
fish ball or the squid ball. But then, like, she'd risk it
Mm-hmm.
because she wants to eat it. And then I probably have to run to get an anti allergy pill, but it was worth it. Okay. So I think that's about everything we can tusok tusok today.
Mm-mm. There should be a tusok tusok for fried mini donuts.
And people fish out donuts on their own. Uh, and then funnily, if you look at tusok as a term in food, there are so many restaurants that have incorporated tusok into their name, which makes sense. I
Mm-mm.
wonder how many people still remember that horrible "You make tusok tusok the fish balls" commercial, which is so memorable. But I can't remember what it was for.
Assumption.
Huh?
It was a joke on assumption.
No, but what was the commercial about? Not assumption, but what was the product that was being
I
advertised?
don't think it was from a commercial.
It was a commercial called Manong. I just remember the Manong whatever girl. I can't remember now. Can't remember now.
Assumption or Saints Call, but I think it was Assumption.
Was that there a commercial? I know there was a commercial. I'm now just double checking before we wrap up for today. Nobody mentions. Okay, yeah, I don't know. People, maybe I'm Mandelaing myself. Okay. Yeah. So last thoughts on the Tusok Tusok things.
I want the banana Q split.
I will just say that with this, this is really, which is like to be it's like a lot of barbecue, I assume, but especially tusok, skewer, whatever things you want to call them. Man, they're really best fresh, and
Mm.
then it we have tried a few delivery options for certain things,
Yeah, it really
and
dries out.
it just never works out. Whether it's chicharron bulaklak or if it's
Mm-mm.
so. I mean, in this quarantine life where almost everything now is like delivery food, it's quite a shame. And I think you're better off like trying to figure out how to cook it yourself at
Yeah.
home if you can.
And then if you do choose to grill anything at home, there are specific grills that you can use for that. If you actually try to grill something just on your stovetop, expect a weird taste because the
The
burner,
LPG
yeah, will
thing.
be different.
If it's LPG, then if it's
Yeah,
electric, you really can't do it like
but at the same time, if it's electric, you'll just have to really super clean after when that weird coppery taste.
yeah,
Yeah, but then they do sell those small burners,
like a
which are
hibachi
still
grill
LPG.
things,
But then
butane
yeah, the
ones.
butane
Yeah.
ones pala. But those have been marketed to be good for local home grilling as well.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. And of course it's like it's a gift if you have a balcony where you can grill at all. I
Mm.
mean, like we're in a fixed condo unit, so smokiness does not leave easily. Even just when I cook pancakes,
Mm-mm.
I turned us into Victorian
Oh, that
London.
reminds me of the pancakes.
Yeah,
I should eat those.
I can eat. I just finished my cake first before
Yeah,
I will come. I'll circle back to them, but
your
we have to
free
eat
cake.
them. My free cake because I won a photo contest for. I think what made it win is the fact that I had three different keto Filipino cakes for my birthday month.
Why don't we have a barbecue cake? I mean, we have sushi cakes.
What do
We
you
have
mean
ice cream
barbecue
cakes.
cake?
So it's like a
How did we get to
a
barbecue cake?
circle mound of rice with barbecue skewers and then sticks. And then parang wedding cake, you can pull out a stick to get one of the barbecue sticks. Wala, it's all made to look like a barbecue grill. But I was thinking of a cake that is barbecue. See? Wala.
There is a market
Untapped
for
market
Toby's bizarre
to make a barbecue cake.
barbecue cake thing.
It's your meat lover's delight birthday cake. Mm.
That's gonna be a dense rice. That's true, but there's like
The malagkit rice, pwede.
there wasn't there some other restaurant that had something like that.
Normally kasi they have sushi cakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Wherein it's a bunch of sushi and then as a bit of rice and then you have the sushi on top. So it's
Mhm.
just a top layer. So we can do that. It could like be a fence of skewers with the rice in the center. And what?
Why is this cake like a castle? It has a fence of barbecue guarding it
Yeah.
and a Betamax moat
Mm-mm. And
and
then you have a barbecue tomato in the middle, di ba?
a random like,
Sa,
hey,
sa ihaw, di ba, laging may
you have
ganun?
a vegetable.
Oh, and wait, I think that's our closure.
What?
When it comes to inihaw food, the inihaw na vegetables really nicely rounded out.
Oh,
When you
okay.
when you like have the
That's
tomato,
one tomato in
the
yeah.
eggplant nicely roasted, and those really nicely work with the food. I remember when we used to get sa
Fifth.
Cubao, yeah, there would always be those.
Oh, the fifth. We miss you.
The architecture of the barbecue cake is like a lady fingers cake. Well, you can call it then a man fingers cake because it's like meat. And then dapat sa sticks may isang kikiam.
Makikiam.
Para you're like, oh, who got the kikiam? Oh. I guess that's all the time we have for this episode. We had a lot of fun, and we hope you will join us again next time.
For Toby's food adventures. Uh, for questions or suggestions for future episodes, you can fill up the Google form at bit.ly Baduy Pride Ideas. Thanks again to Kenny for suggesting today's topic.
Mhm.
It was a recent suggestion, and we queued it in right away. You can follow us on Twitter, all Toby No Shade, RG
You
Suniko.
could also check out our blog,
Bae.
baduypride.com, for all the previous episodes and stuff about us.
Feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below. Let us know what's your favorite inihaw. What is your craziest Tusok Tusok story?
Mhm.
Let us know. And be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Toby.
And
this
this is
is Baduy
Baduy
Pride.
Good night, everyone.